Good morning, everyone. So glad to be talking to you this morning. Um, to all my loved ones, family, friends, and everyone that comes across this video. If you really like it, just give us a thumbs up. And if you really love it, just give us a red love heart. I know that you can enjoy this. And today, my daily nugget is: what are you chasing? What are you pursuing? Is it lots of money, big house, living the life? The question is, what if you achieve all of that and you don't have any peace? Sometimes, we have to consider in this life what we say yes to. Because, someone told me that when you say yes to something, indirectly you're saying no to other stuff. So if I decide this morning that I want to do daily nuggets every day, I must be saying no to sleep. So you have to thoroughly consider what you're saying no to. And in this life, we work so hard for our families. We build houses. We try to provide for our kids. We make sure we look after our cars and all of that stuff. And I don't know if you like me, but during this lockdown, I don't know, have we seen that the things that we have been so hard working for, we seem to not experience it or enjoy it that much that we want to get out. Is that not crazy? And I want you to reflect on that, because does that mean we are caught in a system that we thought we have all the freedom, we have all the peace, and we're doing the stuff that we want to do? But are you thinking about whether you're just caught in this game of chase, that you're continually just chasing and you're just going after the next thing? I want you to think today that if you get everything you want, enough money, best house, the best cars, the best life, what would your life be like? Or, once you achieve those things, would you be caught in the race of chasing again? That means you would have what you have and want it, but now you continue to desire for more. Like most of us, when we were pedestrians and didn't have cars, we were desiring to have a car. When the car came, we then ended up desiring a bigger car. When the bigger car came, we ended up desiring a better car. And I just want you to think about it. Think about what you're chasing, what you're working for, and where's your life going to. I really want to ask you today, in all your chasing, don't lose yourself. And yeah, I'm not talking about the stuff you possess, the stuff you've achieved. I'm talking about you, intrinsically you. The person that sometimes decide they not getting out of bed, not brushing their teeth, they're just gonna chill. The person that decides that while it's storming outside in the rain, they're just gonna take a walk in the rain. Talking about that person. Our fresh manna from heaven comes from the book of Hebrews chapter 12, and we read from verse 14 to about verse 17. And you know what the author starts talking about here? He says, pursue a life of peace with all men and holiness, without which no man will see God. He also talks about, carefully looking around you and making sure that people that are with you don't fall from grace, and that they don't allow the root of bitterness to spring up in their hearts, which will end up corrupting them. And then he speaks about the stuff that corrupts us. It's like entering a life of sexual immorality, where it is okay to have sex before marriage. It's a life where we start living godlessly, not worrying about our birthright. And when we start losing these things, we start getting into a place where we lose the blessing of God upon our lives. Now, the question that comes to mind is, what is peace? When he says we must pursue peace with all men, when I searched this, it actually didn't tell me what peace is. It told me that peace is the absence of conflict and hostility. That's crazy, that we have to pursue the absence of something. It shows us sometimes in life we can achieve more by doing less. Less screaming, less shouting, less selfishness, would the world not be a great place if we were all living in peace? That means you can walk on the beach without worrying about crime, without worrying about abuse. Would life not be great if we were all just living in peace, sharing and having it in common, without trying to be better than one another? Would life not be heaven here on earth? And then he says we should pursue a life of holiness, because without holiness no man shall see God. You know, that becomes so intimidating for most of us, because we feel like we have unholiness, we have unholy thoughts. But you know, the beauty of this is Jesus already accomplished that on the cross. Holiness is a state of being holy, and being holy is being consecrated and dedicated to something or someone. And Jesus has already accomplished that for us, to be consecrated and dedicated to the Father by laying his life down and the work that he's done on the cross. So you have to know that you are kind of consecrated and made holy. Now, you know, what peace with all men does, it gives us the horizontal relationships. What holiness does, it gives us the vertical relationship, and it brings us in right standing with God. The beauty of the sequence of this is it says, seek peace with all men first, and then holiness with God, which makes sense, because can you actually achieve great holiness with God and you have no peace with men? You have to establish peace and relationships with your fellow brothers and sisters, and then achieve holiness with God. And so today, my call to reflection is that you ought to know that you should pursue holiness and peace with all men, but in your acquisition, in your pursuit, in your chase after certain things, don't lose you. Live a life that is balanced. Live in peace with all men, and find a good relationship with your Creator. And then I want you to know that in pursuing these things that we want in life, God has the best interest for us at heart. I know that you've enjoyed this. I know that you are blessed. I want you to enjoy the day. Please don't forget to think about what you pursue. And maybe I'm going to do a small prayer with you. While I know you're going to give me a thumbs up and a red love heart, and I know that you're going to subscribe to our channels, I'm just going to pray with you. Father, in Jesus' name, I pray for every listener. I pray for every person that is watching this video right now. Pray, Father, for the peace, your supernatural peace to enter their hearts. That means, Lord, not only does your peace enter our hearts, but conflict disappears, hostility disappears, anger and bitterness disappears. I pray in the midst of this difficulties that we find ourselves in, may you bring your peace, your supernatural peace, Lord, that takes us away from the anxiety of our debts, that takes us away from the anxiety of death, that takes us away from the anxiety of worrying about our health, our physical being, and just bring us into a place and a state where we're in good relationship with you. In Jesus' mighty name. God bless you. Have a wonderful day. I trust to talk to you tomorrow. God bless.